Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Hopper, and today I'm going to be going through all the gear that I am taking on the Appalachian Trail that I'll be starting in just a few weeks. Alright, so I think it's pretty much traditional for anyone that's YouTubing, etc. to kind of share all the gear that they're taking. So this video may be a little bit longer, but I'm going to go through everything. Some of it not in as much detail, like camera gear, the electronics, and then my sleep system. Those are all done in separate videos. So I'm just going to be going through my setup and then how I've got things packed and the items that I've got. So we'll start off. Number one, I have the Z-Packs carbon fiber trekking poles. Those are very lightweight and I like them so far. On the front, this big old pod, this is a Hyperlite camera pod that holds my Nikon camera that I'm actually filming with right now. I have a CTUG 2.5 liter fanny pack. And I started off with a Hyperlite and I switched over to this. They sent me one to try out and I like it. It's kind of like a bottomless pit in a good way. So I've got all my snacks, some camera gear, my other tripod, which is just a small tripod, some other items in there. And it fits everything very well, has a good feel to it. On my right side I have a CTUG, which is a shoulder phone pocket holder thing. Sorry, chicken TRAMPER ultralight gear. I may have gotten the wording wrong, but I think I got my point across. That holds my iPhone 13, and then I can put a couple other items in here like chapstick, etc. I will be taking my Garmin InReach Mini 2, and again all the electronics are done over another video, and then my plate holder or my camera holder. So if you see me walking down the trail, you're going to see a big old camera with a poofy dead cat here. Dead cat's a microphone cover. We're going to take out the pack, flip it around, and I'm going to show you what's in the back side of the pack. This is the back of my Hyperlite Junction 3400 pack. So I chose that because it's very light, but it carries everything that I need and it's pretty comfortable. So my camp shoes, Crocs. I have a platypus water filter. I decided to take one of those Crystal Light containers, and this is where my sunglasses are in. I don't have them in there right now, but with my sunglasses inside this case, it's like 2 ounces. I have the Snow Peak umbrella. I know a lot of folks say, hey, you don't need an umbrella on the Appalachian Trail because of all the overhanging limbs and stuff. But this is the smallest, lightest umbrella you can get, and I have some shock cords set up on the right side so I can actually just attach this and go hands-free with it. Alright, so I have my, well, you can see that. That's my poop kit, which is Z-Packs trowel, some toilet paper, some wipes, and hand sanitizer. This whole set right here, this is the Z-Packs Vertice rain system. So Vertice rain pants, jacket, and then even the mittens. So all of that crams down inside. This is actually the inside of the pocket of the Vertice jacket. I keep all of my tent stakes in here. Now for the tent that I'm using, I actually only need 4 tent stakes to set it up, but I'm bringing 8 to 10. I haven't decided. It's going to be at least 8. So I have extras, and then if there's a lot of wind, a lot of rain, I have some extras to really make sure that it's secure. And then until we're out of snow season, I'm bringing these. So these are trekkers. They're actually chains for your shoes. They're a little bit lighter than I found the Yak Track spikes to be, and these are comfortable. I've hiked in these through Bryce Canyon with no issues. So we're bringing those. Now on either side, I will be bringing 2 1-liter bottles of water. So just the Smart Water bottles. And then on top is, this barely even fits me, but this is just a Z-Packs 1 ounce sit pad, kneel pad. So something nice to sit down out of the mud or to kneel in as I'm setting the tent up. And now we're going to get inside the pack and start showing you everything else that I've got. Alright, so again, this is the Hyperlite Mountain Gear Junction 3400. I thought about going with something a little bit bigger, but I didn't know. So as of now, I'm able to get everything that I absolutely need, plus a little bit extra in here, so I'm happy with that. So my tent is a Durson X-Mid Pro 2. Now if you go back and look at a previous video I did, I had the X-Mid Solid 2-person tent. And that's a fantastic tent. It was just a little bit too heavy. And so I ended up lucky enough to get an X-Mid Pro 2, which is about half the weight. It's made out of Dyneema, very lightweight, very easy to set up. And then for a ground cloth is just Gossamer Gear, I think it's Polycro, I may have that word wrong, but 3.4 ounces, just a sheet to throw down. That's the tent. Food bag, I don't have all my food in here yet, but I will show you. So this is the Z-Packs Bear Bag Kit. I do have a lot of crinkling. I do have, it's supposed to be an odor-proof bag that goes inside. I'll be using the Hyperlite REPACK system for my food. What's in the bag? So I have a Toaks 750 ml pot that I will keep one of the fuel canisters inside, but for now I have a lighter. I didn't go with a bandana because, well, we actually already bought a towel. So this is just a pack towel, but it'll be for cleaning, keeping things from rattling around. And then I have the MSR Pocket Rocket 2. Now I had a different cup. I had a Sea to Summit, one of those collapsible ones, but I noticed that after having coffee a few times, I could not get the coffee flavor out. So I found this is a GSI Outdoors mug, and this is great because you've got the cup inside. It already has some insulation. It has a very good seal on it, so you could actually, I guess, walk down the trail with your cup of coffee, whatever. But I can use this for coffee and still boil water, or use this for soup or whatever else. Now all of that sits on top of what is basically a garbage bag. So if the tent gets wet outside, or the bear bag gets wet while it's hanging in the trees and I can't get it all dried off, it's okay to sit inside the bag, and I've got it separated from the rest of my stuff. So first thing I have on top is, if it's going to get cold, I have my Enlighten Equipment Tour jacket, which is extremely warm, very lightweight. And crammed in there next is the Enlighten Equipment Revelation. And again, my sleep system video is, I'll put a link up here for you. Everybody's like, oh, bring a towel, bring something to dry off the inside of your tent or your gear. And I found that, like, the best thing, ShamWow. This is actually, it was a 24 by 24. I cut it in half. So this is really lightweight, but absorbs a lot of water. And I just cut a small hole in it, so if it is soaking wet, I can clip this to the outside of the bag with, well, shock cord, whatever I want, to get that dried off. Next is my THERMAREST XTHERM NEOAIR NXT. I think I got that right. It's the max. But again, there's a whole sleep system video for that. The rest of my sleep system is then inside that. And then I wanted to keep a lot of my gear in separate bags just in case, somehow leaks get through, which they happen. So the first bag, which kind of sits almost in the middle of my pack, which is where you're supposed to put all your weight, is kind of the heavy bag. So this is where a lot of my electronics, first aid kit and stuff are. So this is a Hyperlite mountain gear. It's a stuff sack, but it's actually shaped like the inside of the pack, so it fits in there nicely. This is the small, and inside this I have my hygiene kit. We'll go through that in just a second. Power cables, camera batteries, more camera stuff with my SD cards, etc. My first aid kit. I'm sure I have a little bit more stuff than other people, but I just want to make sure I had enough. Plus I have one of those emergency blankets because I will be leaving pretty soon. It's still cold, and then when I go through the Smokies, etc., it's supposed to get cold, so I want to make sure I had a little bit extra protection. I have a tent repair and pack repair kit with some extra shock cord, guidelines, stuff like that. I have my Lion Energy Prowler. So this is my battery pack. It's awesome. It's a 20,000 milliamp hour. It's ruggedized, water resistant, multiple plugs. Again, so go look at my electronics video, you'll see more information on that. Extra toilet paper. I have one of these Hilltop Packs Urology massage balls. Now, I have plantar fasciitis, back issues, hip issues, shoulder issues, and so having a way to kind of keep the muscles loosened up, massage that is important to me. And then just some extra Ziploc bags. And probably the most important thing, so my son and my in-laws made something for me that I'm not supposed to open until I get to Georgia. So I don't know what's in here, but that's coming with me. Hygiene kit. I probably have more than most people, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm bringing a small, like I think it's 1.5 ounces of Dr. Bronner's soap that you can use for anything. You can use it for laundry, for washing your hands, washing dishes. You can even use it for brushing your teeth, which I'm not really interested in. Some Q-tips, a comb, because you got to keep the beard, you know. All of my prescription meds are in here. I was only going to bring like 15 at a time and just have my wife send me more. But I decided to go 30 days at a time because I could fit them in here and it saves money on mailing things. This is a little bit more pills. These are like Benadryl, emergency stuff. Vaseline all over body balm gel stick. So this actually works whether you've got cracked hands, whatever, from dry skin. Works for chafing. So I kind of went back and forth with the body balm, but I'm going to try this out. Floss, earplugs. You got to have earplugs. So like I don't mind my snoring. You would probably not like my snoring. So bring earplugs if you're going to be near me. But I'm sure other people are going to be snoring, etc., whether they're close by me in a tent, in a hostel, or in a shelter. And I just don't want to hear that jazz. So earplugs. So toothbrush. I think a lot of people just like cut down a toothbrush and stick it in something. But we found, actually my wife Susanna found this. This is called a tube, T-O-O-B brush. So you get a brush, a toothbrush, and then on the other end you get a packet for your toothpaste, and you can actually unscrew this end, squeeze in your favorite toothpaste, and you've got that in this nice little setup. I don't know what I'm saying. You ever at a loss for words? I'm at a loss for words a lot. Okay, and the last thing in my hygiene kit, so these are Surviveware rehydratable wipes. So you just put a tablespoon of water in this and they get pretty big. Keeping yourself clean on the trail is important, not only for like your own sanity, the sanity of those around you, but also keeping certain areas very well clean will help keep chafing down, etc. So I have 20 of those at a time, which actually only adds up to I think like 1.5 ounces for 20 of these. And then we have a bunch back at home, so my wife can send me those in a care package. And then the last thing, crammed way down there at the bottom, is another one of these Hyperlite Mountain Gear pack sack, stuff sacks over. This is the large, so you can see it's pretty big. And in here, I have the rest of my clothes. So this is the t-shirt, one of the base layers I'll be wearing. I've got my shorts, but I'll be wearing some trail pants or running pants. But for a good mid-layer, this is a Fayette Chill Loma. This is kind of heavy. I think this is about 17 ounces, but again, I'm a bigger guy, so you have to buy bigger clothes. But this is very warm. I went with something with a zipper because I wanted just to be able to open it up if I'm still somewhat cold, but I need to, like, it's starting to warm up. Anyway, with a zipper, I have, for wintertime, these are the Enlightened Equipment booties that if your feet get cold, this stops that. These are so dang warm. I have an REI Polartec beanie, and then a buff. So this is a merino wool buff. I was going to do a shamog that you can tie in different ways. You know, it's just a big scarf. But this, doing this instead of the shamog, actually saved me, I think it was about 4 ounces. I've got some REI gloves. I have glove liners, so if it's getting really cold, I can put those on as well. And then, like I said, so I have the Z-Packs Vertice rain mittens, so I can put those on over the top when it's not so cold, but it's just raining and you're trying to keep your hands dry. And then speaking of trying to stay dry, so I have sealskins mid-length waterproof socks and some Injinji. Can you say that with me? Injinji liners. These are toe socks, which freak me out. Like, I don't want to see my toes wearing these, but you need a liner with these because they don't like really conform to your feet. They're kind of like an open space. So trying to keep them waterproof and warm. Injinji liners. I do have 2 pair of the Darn Tough hiking socks. I just went with, I think they're a mid, but they're about that high. I went with 2 because you got to keep your feet dry and taken care of. So 1 pair might be for sleeping, the other pair is for hiking, or pull them out and be able to rotate as necessary. I know some people are like, oh, just wear the same pair of socks. I also have 2 pair of drawers. So these are the Saks. What are these? The Saks Quest. They have a little pouch in there for your boys. And then my running pants are Patagonia running pants. These keep me pretty warm. So those will be my hiking pants. And then sleep-wise, I just have some LL Bean. These are like a silk base layer long john kind of pant. So that's for sleeping. And then I do have another mid-layer slash base layer slash sun shirt slash, I'm just bringing it along because I love it. It's very comfortable. If I choose to sleep in that, then that'll keep me pretty warm, and then I can add my jacket if I need it or whatever. But I think that's probably going to be what I'll be sleeping in at night. And then as it starts getting warmer, that's probably what I'll be hiking in as a sun shirt. So that is it. Again, I don't have the water inside my pack, but it's just going to be 2 1-liter bottles of water. I'll carry 2 canisters of fuel for my stove, and then the rest of my food. But that is what is going with me on the Appalachian Trail that I'll be starting in just a couple weeks. Looking forward to sharing that adventure with you, so please make sure that you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and leave me a comment. I know this is a lot of stuff, but it's interesting to hear your ideas on how to cut down weight, or it's nice to hear like, man, you got too much, you're going to be sending that stuff home. Whatever you want to comment on, that's fine. But if you are not already tracking, make sure you just, this little button down there, it's free. You click tracking, you subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. And yeah, thank you for watching.